Hello players and welcome to another video on Apwars. This session of videos is specially made to help you understand the Arcadia expansion. This particular video is dedicated to foundations and fees. If you like the video, if you like Apwars, don't forget to subscribe and leave the video a thumbs up. Also, fire down in the comment section all the comments that you have or contact us via the links that you see below through our socials. As you probably noticed, the foundation prices have been launched. Well, the foundations as well have been launched 48 hours ago, and well, these were sold in minutes, okay, in minutes. This means that the Fed amount, so the initial amount that the Fed decided to release of these foundations has been actually sold out, and well, you might, if you get lucky, you might be able to buy them in the black market. Otherwise, if not, well, you just have to wait for the new ones to be launched. Okay, so the amount that was launched does not contemplate the full units that will be launched in the future. So please pay attention to our Telegram and Twitter, where you'll be able to see the announcement of the launch of the next, or basically the available foundations. Diving into the specifics of each foundation, well, the temple has the ability to increase your courage. Yes, the war courage token, it will increase it by 15%. So what on earth is this? Simple. Courage will be detrimental in the future game, in the future part of the game, because you will be needing war courage in order to be able to defend your lands and your foundations from being taken by another player. If you get attacked and if you lose the war, war courage will be the only item that will be able to save you, at least in the initial part of the Arcadia. To build a temple, you need 50 workers. The building time is 30 days and the max quantity available is 25. The price is 125 each per wLAND. Watchtower. What does the Watchtower bring to you? You will be receiving notifications from the attacks and other troop movements. You might be able to also rent it out and collect some fees. The number of workers required is 25 and the building time 30 days. Max quantity 25 and the price is also pretty much like the temple, 125 wLANDs each. Please be aware that these building times will change through time. Okay, this will give the team, these building times that you see here, will give the team time to actually prepare all the needed developments for the game so that when the foundations are built, players can actually play instead of just having to pay the fees on them without being able to play much at the moment. So with the Watchtower, you will receive notifications and you will be able to get some fees back if you provide that service to other players. The market, well, it's the most expensive one, and guess why? Two reasons. First, because it's the most scarce, it only has 15 markets available, and the other one is because you will be getting fees back on the trades that are made in your market. The market will reach out to a given region. Okay, so it's specific to that region where it's implemented, and the radius of the market will change according to the number of markets that are around that area. Okay, so if you want to play a strategy game, you need to get a few markets, might be easier for you, or try to plant a market far away from other markets. That might help you in the game. The hideout. Why would you want to have a hideout? First, because if you have a hideout, a certain percentage of your stock resources, so the resources that you'll be collecting from the Arcadia world, whether be it wood, metals, rock, water, and other weaponry that you might collect and produce, you will be able to stock them in these hideouts. And this will avoid your precious resources from being looted. Okay, so the number of workers that you need is 15. Building time again 30 days for the reasons already explained. you have a max quantity of 40 and it costs 75 wLAND each. The villages are the most, well, actually the cheapest ones, right? And why is that? Check the quantity. Well, you have almost 9,000 villages that you would be able to buy, and this is because so the number of villages doesn't mean that all of them will be sold out. It means that if a player has a big enough army, he or she will need to have their troops in the village. And the village, as we'll see in the upcoming slides, will have a limited number of places for the troops. So it's not like a big player will stock all his troops in that village. No, if a big player has a lot of troops in his army, he will have to have several villages in order to, well, put his troops or her troops to sleep and to eat. The price for these is 10 wLANds each, and you will need 15 workers, and the building time at the moment is the one that is more reduced. It's reduced by 9 days with respect to the others, and it's 21 days. Please be aware when you choose your strategy that your foundation will have a maintenance cost, and this maintenance cost has a threefold token payment. First payment in workers, second in war gold, third in wLAND. So this means that if you decide to buy one of these foundations or several of them, please be aware that these costs are weekly, okay, weekly based, and this is basically a fee for you that you have to pay, and it guarantees two things. One is that you just don't, well, to avoid players who actually buy them and speculate on their price, trying to sell them later, because this game is actually meant to be played. And the other one is to maintain the rhythm of the game while still providing constant fees to first the players, which will be earning the fees that are collected in the battles. Okay, so basically the battles that the players decide to take will have rewards, and these fees will be used to add to those rewards, and of course also for the team to keep on developing the game. Okay, everyone has to have some revenue, and well, it's DeFi, true story, and we still need some revenue to work. So few notes. The payment will start, so the payment on these fees will start once the feature of the game, the other features of the game have been released, so you don't have to worry about this now, okay? Really, you don't just, if you want to, you can buy them, just be sure to buy them. If you're planning to, well, make the foundation in your land, so build it or sell it afterwards, okay? Don't forget about that. And these costs will be dynamic, okay? So don't worry, let's say that the price of the wLAND now it's about 1.5 BUSD and it goes to 15 BUSD. Don't worry too much about that at the moment, because these prices will be dynamic in order to be adjusted so that it ensures fairness to all players that are actually playing, okay? Once you go into the, let's say, board game, so into the world, you will see that some lands have different prices. Well, that's because if your land is in the middle of nowhere, where you have no neighbors, it will cost the base price of the 10 wLANds. But if your land has around that, in that same region, so a region is a square of 10 by 10 lands, it will have a higher price due to the impact that other villages and other foundations will have on that price. So you might look around the map and you will see that locations and lands that have been that are in regions that have a good amount of foundations, they will be more expensive. So please do that search. This is actually quite smart because, well, this will force players to not be always buying lands in the areas that they want, or even in the areas that they have their troops already on, but this will force players to buy lands in other parts of the world, hence diversifying everything. So it really if you want to have your land in a region that has already a few villages and markets and everything, well, you'll have to pay more, just basically what you do in the real world, right? So about the Q&As, some questions and answers for you at the moment. Again, if you have any more doubts, fire them out through our socials, or you can leave some comments in the comment section. So question number 1, can you lose your foundation to another player? Yes. If you get attacked and you lose your troops and your war courage, well, it will be consumed, well, the war courage will be consumed gradually by your opponent once the war takes place. And when it reaches 0, so basically if you don't have more war courage, your opponent will keep your land, okay? So please choose the number of lands that you want to have wisely. So if you use, the foundation you'll be losing, but the land not. So if you want to buy the foundations, make sure that you use them or you sell them later, okay? If you buy lands, you will not be able to lose your land, okay? But if you fail to pay the fees on it, you will be not collecting any fees from any of the things that you might have built on that land, and that land will be no longer kind of yours to manage, okay? So the other players will be using the land as a farm. Question number 3, should you join a clan? Yes, other players can really help you if you get attacked, okay? Even if you are a big player, you should have a clan or join a clan, because it's a teamwork, and one of the things that this game is different from other games is that you are actually playing, or you can actually play as a team, okay? It's a really interesting dynamic that this game is bringing to the blockchain. Number 4, will villages have the same maximum capacity for troops? This was already highlighted before. And yes, the villages will have the same max capacity regardless of the player. So this means that players that have large armies will have to pay more and get more villages to keep their troops in their villages, okay? So it's actually fair for everyone. If you have a small army, you need less villages. If you're a big player and you have a bigger army that can probably engage into different players' villages, that means that, well, you'll have to pay more to have that large army always constantly having a house and some place to eat and sleep. Question number 5, why do we pay fees for the foundations and lands? Well, it's actually to ensure that active players take part in the game and avoid early buyers from just hodling to their foundations without much interaction in the game. This will avoid speculation, and it will also promote the development from the team. Okay, worth reinforcing. The maintenance costs, well, which won't happen now, will be live once the full World Explorer is delivered, and will be dynamic. Question number 6. What happens to a worker after he finishes building any foundation? Simple. You will not lose the worker. The worker will go back to your wallet, and it will be free for you to use in other tasks, like, for example, collecting resources, where you will be able to collect these resources throughout Arcadia. Question number 7. Why should you be wise and plan well according to your investment strategy? Simple. If you keep paying maintenance costs, you will be able to control if workers are allowed in your land. And if you allow them, you will receive a percentage of the collected resources, okay? So the more lands you have, the more fees you'll be collecting in the future. Again, this feature has not been released, so consider the amount of lands that you're buying with respect to the amount of fees that you're willing to pay. Because do not forget that if you don't pay the fees, the land will be just a farm for other players to farm on, and you will not be collecting any fees. The same goes for other foundations. Well, so if you don't pay fees, your land becomes an abandoned area, okay? Pretty much like what happens in the real world. Where can you collect resources from? Question number 8. you'll be able to collect the resources in your own land and in special places on the map. Okay, so the more lands you have, the better. If you decide to collect your resources from another player's lands, you'll be paying fees to him. Okay. Question number 9. Will you be able to sell the foundations if you bought afterwards? Yes, these foundations are NFTs in the blockchain, in the view of the blockchain. So yes, you'll be able to sell them in the black market afterwards. Okay, so they are yours to keep if you want, and they are yours to sell if you want as well. So the dynamics of the game will dictate the final prices of all of these items. Players, that's all for now. We want to make the video not too big so that it doesn't get really boring. We hope you're enjoying the excitement that Arcadia is finally bringing. Do not forget that this whole project was launched only a few months ago in April, and a lot has been developed so far. Enjoy, play, and feel free to contact us on our socials, especially through Telegram, Twitter, and Discord. As always, see you on the next one.